we do this? Why don't we let's talk a little bit more about cargo vans. So other than the dedicated stuff that we talked about earlier, right? In the forms of your office supply stuff, Staples, Office Depot, USPS, right? With T-Force, Waco, and Capstone. What else can we do with a cargo van to make money? All right. So you figure you do your office supply, your dedicated run at 6 a.m. in the form of one of those things that we talked about, dedicated run. All right. You're going to do that. That shouldn't take you all day. It shouldn't take you all day. Let's say you get done with that by 2 o'clock, 2 p.m., right? Next, what can you do at 3 p.m.? All right. You got options, right? You got GoShare. You got Curry. You got Roadie. You got Amazon. And there's more opportunities out there as well. All right. What also you got thumbtack. And this is where the guys that really want to make that money, they're going to really make that money on thumbtack. And here's why. Shout out to the people who hit me this week that was checking the bag off thumbtack. I know somebody hit me yesterday. All right. They did a small office move job. Just banker's boxes. It was a law firm to a law firm. I gave that sauce months ago. There's a lot of law firms that have multiple law firms in the city. They might have, let's say, 5 or 6 different offices. And if a lawyer is working on a particular case and they have to move, the files from one particular case to another particular case, they'll just hire a guy with a van to do it. You charge them $75 an hour, 2-hour minimum, and the $50, $75 van fee. It's a law firm. They're going to pay it. They're going to write it off. When can you get here? You take your dolly. You go in there, you pick up 40, 50 banker's boxes. You put them in the back of your van. You drive them across town to their other office. They're going to pay with a credit card. You just did that in 2 hours. You just made $225 in 2 hours moving 30 to 40 boxes. I gave Buddy the scoop, and sure enough, man, you was right, man. This moving money different. So in 2 hours, this guy was able to do just banker's boxes. If you don't know what a banker box is, look it up. Just moving banker's boxes from one law firm to another. Did it within 2 hours. It didn't even meet the 2-hour minimum, but there's a 2-hour minimum, so they have to pay the 2-hour minimum. I think he did like an hour and 15 hour and 20 minutes. Still got paid for 2 hours, $225. This is what a person has to get up in the morning with a cargo van, right? Run from 6 a.m. because they got to load their van. Then they may have to make 40, 50 stops. They're making $2 a piece, so they're making somewhere between $200 to $400 depending on how many pieces they're making. So let's say this is in the middle. They make $200, $225. They take some 6-7 hours to do that. You get off. You get a quick little lick from thumbtack, picking up some banker's boxes. You might have to go to IKEA and pick up a few pieces and drop them off. You may have to move a twin-size mattress, something you can do by yourself. Now you turn that $225 in that you made earlier. You made another $225. You at home by 6. Now you made $450, $500 for the day. You're not dealing with high cost, right? You're not burning a lot of fuel like a big truck would be burning. You're not paying insurance for a truck. You don't have a helper. These are all things you can do by yourself. And a lot of that money you're keeping because your expenses aren't that high. If you're not done there, you can pull a load from GoShare. You can see what's on Curry. You can see what's on Roadie. You can see if Amazon Flex has a good block that they're willing to pay you for 2 hours. They might have a good block that might pay $100 for 2 hours, especially around the holidays. You might go on Curry and see something that something that needs to be picked up from Sherwin-Williams, or something that may need to be picked up from Lowe's. Or you might go on GoShare and see something that needs to be a few orders that may need to be picked up from Costco. You might go on roadie and they may have a Home Depot route for you with 10 stops that's paying 150, 200 bucks. That's within a 10-mile radius. So now you turned your 500 into 750. Or your thumbtack job may have taken more hours. You might do like a 4 or 5 hour job. So you get there at 3, you work to 7, you might make another 500. I saw Big Zoe a week or two ago. He did his Staples run and then he did a $600 move after his Staples run. That was a $900 day in a cargo van. And majority of that he kept. He was doing moves in his cargo van. He did a move about a month ago in his cargo van. 2 moves back to back. $2,000 in 2 days in a cargo van. Just doing small moves, following my blueprint. It takes a guy in a box truck running middle mile right now at the current rates. The average box trucker that I'm talking to, and I'm not downing middle mile box truckers. Not doing that, because why would I'm not downing you. I give you the strategies to make money. All right. So this is more catered to people who are, hitting me up that are coming into the space. I'm not trying to deter you away from it, but I'm trying to give you another option to think about so you don't fail. I'm not the guy that's going to sit up here and sell you hope like a lot of these guys are doing because they want you to buy into something that they're selling, right? Right? I'm going to give you the honest to God truth and tell you, look, a lot of people just can't maneuver around the middle mile box truck and the 26-foot box truck coming in right now. And a lot of people just don't have an overabundance of working capital to be able to withstand the learning curve initially. That's the truth. I've dealt with so many people that have come into this space in the past year that have come in and been out. There's a guy we documented on this channel earlier this year, didn't even last a month. There's a multitude of people that haven't lasted 3 months. There's nothing wrong with starting small. There's nothing wrong with it. I started with a pickup truck. I started with a pickup truck and grew from a pickup truck to 15 trucks in 4 years. I started from humble beginnings. It is the best thing for me because it allowed me, as my knowledge grew in the space, working out of that pickup truck, as my knowledge grew, my business grew. As my knowledge grew, my money grew. So I took baby steps. That was the best way to go. Instead of jumping in the deep end with no prior experience and no life jacket. These are the opportunities. And this is the way you should do it. Dedicated, first thing in the morning, and then gig stuff later on in the day. There's more opportunity with a cargo van than a box truck. Why? Because you're dealing with essentials. You're dealing strictly with essentials. You're dealing with office products that are going to schools, hospitals, court buildings, and maybe some consumer retailers mixed with in between. And then all that other stuff that you're going to do, your GoShare, your Curry, your Roadie, Thumbtack, these are apps, and then Thumbtack is going to be straight to consumer where you're going to be able to charge a premium. But if you're not going to do Thumbtack, you can do all these apps, right? And this is all on demand stuff. This is all on demand. You can do this all night. Why? Because there's no compliance. You're not up against the compliance that you're up against with a box truck. You don't even need an MC number. You just need a DOT to run the dedicated stuff. But for this other stuff, you don't need anything. There's no time restriction. You're local. Versus a box truck, you're on a load board, you're looking for freight, you got a lot of competition. You're talking to brokers. Final mile, you got a lot more liability. Small parcel, less liability. You're dealing with small parcel. A lot of this stuff is going to the doorstep or the front door. You're dropping it at the front door, you're taking a picture. Even with the dedicated office supply stuff, the stuff that's going to consumer, that's front door. The stuff that's going B2B, you're going to the front office or to the front door. When you take it to the school, you're not distributing that to the classroom. You're taking it to the front office and dropping it. That's it. And these opportunities are 24 hours a day. You can't lose with a cargo van. You got too much opportunity.